I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to give you guys some tips on how you can use sort of this online thing, the social media world, as best as you can to build your business and grow your brand and grow your network and get more leads automatically. And by trying to be as authentic as possible without, trying to hound every single person that you run into at Trader Joe's and, your local grocery store or coffee store, whatever. And, stop chasing your tail and trying to figure all this stuff out. So I've put together some slides that I have for previous presentation, so that might be easier for you guys to just follow through. But what I'll do is I'll just share my screen, if that's okay. I think I can do that from here.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah. Okay, so can you guys see this? Okay?
Yes.
So I think it's all black now. Okay, so you can see that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so the first thing that, I want to help you guys with, the major challenge as network marketers is basically helping you guys go beyond that warm lead, that warm network of yours, all your family and friends, etc. And basically, how you can do that with social media, but at the same time, understand what the social media is all about, so you can using it the right way, and so that you don't become overwhelmed, frustrated and stressed. And maybe you already feel that way, and I promise you that's completely normal, right? And just with the sheer volume of different social media apps at the moment, Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter and Pinterest and Snapchat, and Facebook keeps adding this functionality and all these different functionalities, and Snapchat starts doing it and Instagram starts doing it. So, if you try to do all of that at once, it becomes a full-time job. And, and again, if you're not doing it the right way, not because you're bad or not because you're stupid, it's just that nobody's taught you. And so we want to try to avoid that. And so that's what I want to, try to help you with that challenge. So the way I'm going to break this down for you guys so it's easy, I mean, there's so much to talk about, but I'm going to speak about, sort of 4 things. One is I'm going to give you like 3 fundamental steps or 3 fundamental outlines of how to use social media in this online world and how to think about it. And then I'll share with you sort of this automated 4-step process that I have, which I've been speaking to Julia and Scott about and implementing it in their business to a certain degree. And that's the way that I did it. I do it in my business. That's the way that I do it in my clients' businesses. You'll see the same process with some of the top network marketers out there. And or a similar variation of that. And you'll see this quite often with, high-level people in other types of businesses. Because you might be thinking to yourself, well, how the heck are these guys, in doTERRA, you guys all being with doTERRA, is how the heck are these guys enrolling, 300 people, 200 people, even 100 people a year? These are crazy numbers. The thing is that they've built a system. They have a machine. And so, one of the things that you folks will need to understand, or everybody needs to understand, you look at them and you think, wow, they must be like on the phone all day and pushing people all the time. And yet they created that sort of momentum in the beginning. But what they've done very successfully is they understand the online world and they've used it to reach that global audience as quickly as possible. Okay, so, that's what I'm going to share with you this evening. And again, how to simplify this. And so that you can create that system that doesn't overwhelm you and stress you out. And I'm going to sort of show you how to automate it as much as possible. Okay, so it's the fundamentals. So the 3 fundamentals I'm going to speak about. The first thing is that what we need to understand is social media, okay, is not just about posting. We're not just there to post pretty pictures and cute pictures. Of course we do that, but the overall goal is to get new leads, right? We want to take those people on social media. We want to reach a new audience. We want to keep growing our Facebook page. And ultimately, we want to take those people to get their email or telephone number and name, right? So we can start building a relationship with people. Because, once you start going beyond that warm market, you're dealing with a cold audience. These people don't know you. They don't know you at all. And one of the things we need to realize is that we're exposed to about 5,000 plus bits of information on a daily basis as humans. And that includes things like the television and commercials, the internet, Facebook messages, social media messages, text messages, our business emails, our private emails, driving on the road, billboards, radio, all these bits of information, advertising. It's estimated between 5 to 10,000 bits of information. That number just keeps on growing. And what that means is that people are turning off. Our brains are just turning off because we're just filtering it out. Okay? So we have to really start getting smart about how we can capture people's attention and how we can use the social media to, meet head on with these people, with our audience, and bring them across into our email so we can market to them. And when we have their email and we have them on Facebook, then we can be sending emails to them. We can be sending them Facebook messages or Facebook posts and Instagram posts, etc. So that's called cross-channel marketing. So one of the things you need to understand too is about any business, right? Not just the online business. I mean, it's based on, you need a lot of things, but the two core fundamentals that you need for a successful business is two things. One is you need traffic, and the other thing is that you need conversions. So what do I mean traffic? Well, if you just use the analogy of an offline company, so say, for example, you were selling ice cream, you need both of these things working. You can't have one or the other. So I'll give an example. Say you sell ice creams in New York City in summer. You've got all the potential traffic in the world, right? All that foot traffic coming past your ice cream stand. But if you set up that ice cream stand down a dark alley where nobody goes, your business will not survive. No matter how good your branding is, no matter how good your flavors are, whatever it is, nobody will know about you. So your business won't succeed. And likewise, you can have all the traffic in the world, and you can take that ice cream stand and set it up in the middle of Fifth Avenue in summer. But if your branding's wrong, if your messaging's wrong, if the people that work at your ice cream stand are rude and horrible and your flavors stink, then nobody's going to give you their money, right? There will be no conversions, no conversion from traffic to a paid customer. So you can't have one or the other. And in this day and age, traffic is not a problem. So every single one of us right now, we cannot complain that we don't have a traffic, or that we have a traffic problem. We cannot say that. And why? Because for the first time in the history of humans, have we been able to get access to every single person we want. So if you want to attract women between the age of 35 and 45 who were married and are divorced, who have 2 kids that are between the age of 1 and 10, and she has 3 credit cards, and she lives in a 2,000 square foot apartment in Oregon, and she works as a nurse, you can go get that traffic. Whatever you want, you can go buy that traffic, right? But the only reason why we don't go buy it is because we're not convinced that that traffic will turn into money. If we decided that $1,000 we would pay would turn into $1,500 worth of revenue, we would do that all day. So we don't have a traffic problem, we have a conversion problem, okay? We can get all the traffic in the world that we need. And so social media is just one source of traffic, okay? And when I say traffic, it's just eyes on your screen and what you have to offer to listen to your presentation, okay? But the thing that we need to remember about social media traffic, these people are not the same as people that are going onto Google that are searching, right? So we go onto Google because we want to say, how can I get a coconut bread recipe? Or, how can I treat eczema naturally? Or, how can I make more money from home? People go onto Google to search that. They don't go onto Facebook to look at that, right? People are logging onto social media and to Facebook to, Facebook is social media, but I use those terms interchangeably because Facebook's like the 800-pound gorilla. People are logging on there to check on their friends and family or post an update of their day or their life, right? I mean, I use Facebook, because I'm one of 8 kids and my family's all over the world. So every time I go do everything is I go upload my photos. That way, my family can see what we're up to. I'm not going on there to check up on Samsung. I'm not going there to check up on Jimmy's Juicing. I'm not going to check up there on the surfing world. So I go onto websites specifically to look at that. So if we understand that, we need to realize that we're interrupting a conversation that's happening, right? I'm having a conversation and we're having a conversation. Whatever we're saying as business owners, right? Because if people like your business page and you're doing a post, you need to think, hey, I'm interrupting a conversation. So whatever I'm saying better be damn good. Otherwise, I'm going to annoy these people. And that's what's called interruption marketing. Okay. So we need to understand how that works. So that's the fundamental. So one of the things, I'll just give you guys a tip right now, and I'll show you some examples, is we can't be broadcasting all the time about our product and our opportunity. So I always say to people, so, I mean, I've worked with some of the top names in your company, right? So, one of the things is that I always say to people, don't go posting stuff about, this month's special, 200, I can't even remember what the terrorist thing is.
TV.
LPV, LRV, whatever, if you order 150 LPV, you get this thing. That means nothing to anybody outside your organization, right? It means absolutely nothing. And we can't just be going, and throwing up stuff. Hey, this is great for allergies, and this is, or you've got compliance issues now, but you know what I mean. You can't just be throwing post after post after post after post after post about your product or business opportunity, or how great your life is and freedom and this and that, because eventually that message gets tired and you're interrupting people's conversation, and eventually they're just going to say, click hard, right? You're not going to grow a following by that, that way. You used to be able to get away with that stuff 3-4 years ago, but not so much anymore. Okay? And one of the things that we need to realize now is that social media is no longer free. Organic social media is dying really quickly. So any of you guys who have a Facebook page, you have 1,000 likes, you have 10,000 likes, whatever, and you go post and you get 1 like. From that post, or the reach of your post is 20 people, right? Facebook controls that because there's so many businesses now online, and Facebook knows that its value is keeping people there, right? Having those 1.something billion people on Facebook, that's how Facebook can charge people for adverts, because it knows its value there. If they just inundated everybody with business posts and ads, people would stop using Facebook, then nobody would advertise anymore and their revenue would drop, right? So we need to realize that social media is no longer free, and Facebook and that are not doing it because they're the evil ones. It's just that they run a business model now. They're on the stock exchange. They have shareholders to reach to. So we have to start thinking, how can I spend money, but not spend money as a cost, but actually as an investment and get a return on money, okay? So the second thing I just want to talk about is the need to stand out from the crowd, right? As network marketers, right? There's about 20 million, there's different statistics and numbers out there. There's about 20 million network marketers out there, various companies. So how many in your company? I'm led to believe there's like 3 million wellness advocates. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, not every single person is out there pushing the business, right? But even if 10% of them are, that's 300,000 people, okay? And, that's a lot of people doing the same thing as you. So you got to keep asking yourself, what's going to make me different, and what's going to make my little page different from everybody else? I'm just not the same as everybody else. So I did this little bit of research for one of my clients a little while ago. It was actually for a presentation. And I just typed into Facebook, doTERRA, grounding blend. And I just had all of these posts. And I just took 3 of these posts. Now, one of these posts, my pages might be yours. I don't know. But I took a screenshot of every single one. So imagine if somebody likes page. I mean, this is a good post, right? This is a great post. I believe this comes from doTERRA's blog. So it's a good, very good post. But the problem is everybody's using it. So, this is the type of messaging that I'm talking about that people just turn off from. Not because it's a bad post, it's a very good post, but it's available to the whole world. Everybody who uses doTERRA. So all these people are using the same post. It's just not going to gain any traction outside of their business, or it might from time to time, but the chances are pretty slim, right? So you've got to start thinking, how can I create my own, right? And nowadays we got this beautiful device called, iPhone or smartphone, whatever you use, and the camera is pretty good. So for you to take an image like this is not very difficult, right? And create your own little unique thing, use your own words. And now we have those free photo editing sites like Canva and PicMonkey, where you can upload your photo that you take on your camera and add all these little fancy little things, and it's free. So, you should be thinking of that the whole time. So the way to stand out is by creating your own personal brand. You need to stand out from the crowd. And the best way to stand out from the crowd is be yourself, okay? Be authentic and find your little niche and find your voice and spread your message that way. And just ask yourself, how do you want to be known? And people get scared about personal brands and they think that they need to be somebody special, or, hey, Kenneth, I'm not that rank yet. I'm not making that money. How do I do that? And, or, hey, you know what, I'm just a receptionist and I've just started in this business. I don't have anything. And that's completely normal. But what you need to decide is, like, where do you want to be in 3 years' time? Do you want to, and the best way to understand your personal brand is, what do people think of you when you leave the room? Okay. And so you think to yourself, how do you want to be known? Do I want to know somebody that's, that's the person you go to if you got health issues or into juicing or losing weight, or that's the entrepreneurial person, or, hey, that person's, she's a great listener. She's so motivating. She's so inspiring. She's very helpful. Or, hey, yeah, that's a person. She creates these cool things and all these blends. Or she's the oil person. That's fine. So you just got to decide, what words do you want to be known for? And that'll give you some sort of compass, guidance to head towards in the future. And like I say, and this is one of the things I've been speaking to Julie and Scott about, right, is they like riding motorcycles. So I said, bring that in, because that's unique. That's a part of who they are. And so if you like tennis or you like sewing, go to that niche first, because that's something that and well. And I'll speak about this in the next point, but once you know your niche, whatever your interest is, or whatever your life experience is, so maybe you had an illness, or maybe you lost a father, or maybe you're a single mom, whatever that is, focus on that if you want to, because something that well, because you'll be able to relate to that person who's similar to you. You'll know what their dreams are, what's keeping them up at night, what their aspirations are what their pains are, etc. So you'll be able to connect with them a lot easier. Okay? And there's two ways to do this business. So when you're building your online business, you can either be a product person or a brand person. And I'll explain to you what I mean by that. As a product person would be somebody that's just everything, they're just all oils, right? And that's fine. There's, I think the person, I think she's the second or third top enroller in your company, she's all about oils, right? So that's all she is. She doesn't have anything else. She's just oil focused, and that is fine. You can be that person. But if you're going to be that person, become the expert, right? And create your own little thing. And then when I speak about a brand person, that would be somebody who's maybe a health coach, a chiropractor, a nurse, a doctor, or whatever, that they have a business, they have a core group of clients already, and the oils is just another avenue of that business, right, of their revenue. So they'll be able to do posts about recipes about nutrition and health and detoxes and stuff, and then bring in oils and stuff. So their branding will be all mixed up. There might be a business coach, life coach, whatever. Okay? So the third fundamental of this whole social media thing, before you go posting, and so these fundamentals are key for you to understand before you just go posting whatever comes to mind, or hey, it's, you know, I've just finished dinner, let me do a post quickly. Oh, let me go grab something off doTERRA's blog. Boom, okay, I did a post today. Then we wonder why we don't have any engagement, right? So this is the third fundamental point that I want to talk about, is know your ideal audience. So I've just touched on that, right? So, you know, do you know who your ideal client is? You know, have you defined their demographics and their psychographics? Okay. And what I mean by that is, you know, when we go into the psychographics, those are sort of like their interests and beyond, right? So, you know, we got the normal stuff, you know, age, gender, job description, etc. But with Facebook, etc., we can now go and retrieve a heck of a lot of information. We can find out if we want to target people that are renting homes or financing homes or drive certain cars or have certain income or certain net worth, or who are interested in Gabby Bernstein and Dr. Axe, but also like to practice yoga or ride motorbikes. We can go find these people, right? Exactly, you know, who they are and what their interests are. And the more that we can do this research beforehand, once we do this, then we can start understanding what our content, what we're going to post about. The more we post about our ideal client, the more that they're going to, what we call it as a thumb stopper. It's going to stop them, right? When they're scrolling through their phone with their thumb, and then they see your image or see a headline that speaks to a specific issue, you know, boom, that will stop them. So for example, if you're a health coach, I mean, your audience is pretty much anybody, right? You could reach so many different people. And if you become more specific than that, your message is going to become a lot more refined, and it's going to basically connect with somebody emotionally. So for example, you might say, well, I'm a health coach, but, you know, everybody can benefit from my coaching, but really I want to focus on, you know, women who suffer from candida, or I want to focus on moms with kids with allergies who want to treat those allergies naturally, or I want to focus on people that have a certain skin condition, right? That would be like a niche. If you understand that and you can define what their pains are, what their needs, problems, goals, and pains are, and their desires, then you can create lots and lots of content speaking specifically to that. Okay, so that's what my point was. Once you know their pains, their problems, their needs, their goals, and their desires, then you can start thinking, okay, what solutions can I provide to them with my product or with my business opportunity? Okay, so, you know, there can be a whole slew of different issues, you know, relating to a ideal client, and most of you will have multiple ideal client sort of segments for your products and for your business opportunities. So that way you'll never be, you know, coming short with ideas to post content. You know, once you understand who you are as a personal brand and who your ideal client is and what their pains and desires are, you know, then you can build out a whole structure and strategy to say, right, you know, this week I'm going to be doing 7 posts, and I'm going to do 2 inspirational posts. I'm going to do 2 posts about my product, and I'm going to do 2 posts about, you know, cooking with essential oils to help with fatigue or whatever. I'm just making this stuff up, you know, whatever your niche is. And then I'm going to, you know, do something else about a relaxation technique to help with stress and sleep issues. That way, you know that you're speaking exactly to your ideal audience. And then if you need a booster post or run an ad or run a like campaign to get more likes to your Facebook page, you can go target those type of people. They're going to come to your page, they're going to look at your content, and they say, oh, this is great. This lady's speaking my language. I'm in. Okay? And that's what's going to, you know, help you connect and grow your audience. So once we do this and understand our ideal client, and we know them, we're going to be able to connect with them emotionally. And that's how people make buying decisions. That's how they make decisions to join your business. That's how they make decisions to purchase your product, is when they connect with you emotionally. And once you've done this consistently over time and you've got some traction and momentum, then all of a sudden you start finding that people start messaging you. People have signed up for your ebooks, your webinars, etc. And they say, hey, Julie, I've been looking at your posts. I've been following you for a little bit on Facebook. I've seen this. I watched your video last week, and it's something I really like to explore. Or, how much is it for these products, etc., etc. And that's how it works, and that's how you sort of build this momentum with social media, so that you can start growing your business, right? And people don't like to be sold to, and so this way, when we do it, people love to buy, and we can get them buying. Okay. So finally, I just want to speak about the fourth part of this little presentation I'm doing, right? So that whole part that I'm speaking to is really about the organic sort of side of social media, right? That's the side where you're doing it for free, right? You're just doing posts, etc. Now, when we want to drive leads, it becomes a little bit more complicated. We need to start investing a little bit of money, all right? So like I said, is we don't want to just be doing social media for the sake of posting nice things. We actually want to get people to join our email list and to grow our email list. Okay, so we want to market them. Ultimately, once we have the email, we can be sending them weekly updates and recipes and guides, whatever, that speak to our ideal client and their pains and their desires. And that's what's called cross-channel marketing. And that way we've got a better chance, because contrary to popular belief, is not everybody sitting there waiting for your email to come into their inbox or your Facebook post to be posted. Right? Some people think that that's true. It's not. Okay. And so, what it's like. You guys are busy. You have jobs. You run family, etc. You might be, you wake up in the morning. You see an email about, hey, Julie's hosting this webinar on how to get a better night's sleep with essential oils. Oh, that sounds cool. And they're just about to click on it, and then the kid comes running in. Oh, Mom, I feel sick. I can't find my socks for school, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, she puts down the phone. Makes a mental note. I must come back and check that email. Goes through the whole thing. Then her husband phones, hey, I got a problem with a car. I need you to come here. Her morning's all gone. She's forgotten about that email. Life gets in the way, even though she had good intentions. So then eventually she gets to sit down later on that evening. She's forgotten about your email because she's got another 100 emails that have come into her inbox that day. But then you've done a social media post later on about that same topic. She remembers it, clicks on that post, boom. So when we do this cross-channel marketing, it helps us get in front of them, right? So that's why we want to get their emails. And with emails, we can send them consistently and communicate with them. So our goal is to take these people from social media as fans or followers to an actual lead. That's what a conversion is, from just traffic to an actual lead. So some of the ways that I do this, I use ebooks, and these are just screenshots. I do an ebook, I do webinars, I do a 6-day challenge. You can do a 1-page checklist, a 1-page guide. You can do a bunch of videos, and I give people these things for free. These are just freebies. And in order to get the freebie, they got to give me their name and an email address. And so it's pretty simple. Just keep it simple. It's called a landing page. It's basically a website, but just with no other distractions. And the headline speaks to their needs. So understanding who these people are and what they want. So those are some examples. So that's what I call this 4-step automated marketing system. And that's what I'll show you now. Okay, so the way that this 4-step automated marketing process works, and you can literally do this for any business, right? For example, even Scott, who has a carpet cleaning business, you could do the same thing. If you're a house painter, insurance salesman, you could be creative and do this any way you want. But the 4-step automated marketing process is designed to go out, okay, and get your core audience, get some email addresses and grow that. So how do we do that? We can't just go out there and say, hey, please give me your email address because I want to start marketing to you. So what we need to do is we need to understand who these people are and who we want to work with. You see, because part of the problem, and this is just my opinion, right, is with network marketing, there's, some some of the best teachers out there at the moment. The thing that I noticed is those people built their businesses in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, right? And if you think about it, Facebook's only 10 years old. LinkedIn's less than that, right? Instagram, Snapchat, these things have come out of nowhere. They didn't build their business using these tools. So those old tools that they're teaching you of work 16 hours a day for the next 90 days, 6 days a week, right? And hit the phones all day and send emails and speak to your chiropractor and your doctor and the person who cut your hair and the person in second grade who used to sit next to you. It just doesn't work. Why? Is because we're not really targeting the type of people we want to work with, right? We're not targeting our ideal audience. And so now, is there any wonder why there's such a high turnover rate in network marketing? Probably not. The reason why is because these people are joining businesses on an impulse, on a presentation. And we've never really gone there to say, hey, I want people that are used to, being in a business that they get paid on performance. And so that's the guys like realtors. Those are people like insurance salesmen, car salesmen. Now, I'm not saying every single one of those people are going to join your business. No, because not only that, but if you want to build a business around people, you want to attract like-minded individuals, right? So you're going to be spending so much time, money, and energy with these business builders. You better as heck like them, because I know a lot of people that don't like their upline. People don't like their downline. There's a lot of friction. They don't speak to each other. There's no support with each other. And, their whole energy doesn't work. They're only there because of the money, right? So the whole idea of going out here and using this 4-step automated process fulfills a number of objectives. One is it gets you leads. And secondly, it gets you leads that are more like-minded, that are more interested in either becoming a customer or building a long-term business. So you can use this pretty well to pre-qualify. So the way it works is this: you do a little bit of research in the background to say, right, here's my ideal audience. I want to perhaps target corporate male executives between the age of 40 and 55 who are sick of the 9 to 5, and it's not 9 to 5 anymore for most of these guys that work in the city and stuff. It's like 6 to 7 at night. They don't get to see their kids Monday to Friday. They leave with the family sleeping and they come back when the kids are in bed, right? And come Saturday, they're so buggered they sleep half the day. And then they get 1.5 days worth of a weekend, but then Sunday afternoon, they're already starting to think about Monday, so their life's miserable. So I can think, okay, that's my ideal client. I've defined him. I know he's got kids. I know he's at this age in his life. He's disillusioned with his career and his job. He's earning good money, but he thinks, what am I doing? Is this what it is for life? I'm missing out, even though I'm providing for my kids. So what can I do to provide a solution to that emotional and mental pain that he's going through? Oh, maybe I can do a presentation about, how to start your own business so you can spend more time with your kids, right? I start thinking about an outcome for him. That outcome is not just to start a business, build a business and become a network marketer, but how can you spend more time with your kids? How can you start your own business without investing huge amounts of money, where you have flexibility with your time, etc.? Or I can be focusing on a customer with the eczema or, certain condition or detox, whatever. And so once I do that, I think, okay, let me create a freebie. So maybe that's an ebook, and I'll do a little ebook. For this thing, what you guys don't know is I also run a personal development business apart from my marketing. So this example I used here was a 6-day challenge to experience more joy, peace, happiness, and purpose. So these were just 6 daily audios. I just recorded them with my iPhone, to be honest. And that was called a 6-day challenge. I then ran an ad to say, right, I want to target people, women between this age and that age who like these pages, boom, 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 certain pages that I knew was my type of audience. And I went and targeted them. So that's my Facebook ad. I spent $5 a day. And that ad generated me, I don't know, it's probably about a dollar, just under $1 a lead for this freebie and an email. And so what they get to do is, because these people don't know me, now over the next 6 days, I give them this little challenge. And it could, like I said, it could be an ebook, it could be a video, whatever. But it gives me an opportunity to teach them and give them 6 days of my content. That way they can listen to my voice, they can listen to my trainings, and what I'm doing is I'm building up trust, I'm building up a relationship with them. Okay, so now they're getting to understand me and say, okay, so their barriers are not there. I'm not trying to sell them anything. And then after those 6 days, I then invite them to a webinar. And this webinar, again, is to give them some more education about how to change their life and transition in their life. And then on that same webinar, I then take it to say, right, for those of you guys who want to take the next step and find how to do this, you can carry on doing it by yourself and try to figure it all out, or I can show you how to do it. Join this course that I have. So it's on this webinar that I then present them to purchase my course. And then that's the third step. And then the fourth step would just be following up by emails for those people who couldn't attend the webinar or had to leave early, or who were on the webinar who didn't buy. And this can be 50% of your revenue in the back end. So how would this look for a network marketing company? Well, I do know for somebody that it runs extremely well for is we run an ad to people who have sleep issues, and we have an ebook to help them with sleep. And, she gets leads for about 50 cents, just under 50 cents. And, so from that ebook is then they invited to a webinar. So in the ebook, it shows them also, for those of you interested and want to get some of these oils now, click here and let me know. I can get you started now. But the idea of this is not to just push and sell straight away, but to give them something of value, to position you as the trusted expert, to build a relationship, right? The same way is that we're walking into a cocktail party and starting a conversation with somebody. We're not going to try to sell them and pitch to them straight away. We need to build a relationship. But with this online thing, it takes a little bit longer, right? Because we're just working with words, and videos there now, so that certainly helps. But we're just giving them something of value to say, hey, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you transform your life. So you can give them advice about, how to use, essential oils to reduce stress and anxiety, or, how to get your kids to sleep better, or, cooking with essential oils, whatever that is, that's going to help your ideal client. Or you can maybe do an ebook on how to start your own business. And then you do the webinar to take them to the next stage. The webinar you get to present, just like I'm doing now, okay, so people can understand, they get to see you, and then you can say, right, now for those of you guys who are interested in taking the next step, this is what you need to do. So not everybody signs up for the webinar, right? Not everybody who comes to the webinar or buys or downloads the ebook is going to become a customer or business builder. So it doesn't mean you failed, because this is how you get leads and get people to become customers and business builders. But at the same time, is now you're building an email list. So over time, this email list becomes 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 3,000 people. And you continuously sending them emails, once a week, like newsletters, and giving them value-based content on how to use essential oils for here and there and the next thing, whatever your niche is. This is what happens with the pros. And all of a sudden you get people say, hey, I got your email. I want to take you up on that offer. Hey, I saw you had this holiday special. I'd like to purchase that. How do I go ahead? Or, hey, I've been following you for a while. Or maybe you do an email about building a business. And once you have the email, you can also invite them to other webinars. So you might have done an ebook for a skin condition just to get customers. Then you can follow that up with an email on how to do this as a business. Your possibilities are endless. But this is all automated. This is running 24/7 for you. This ad's running 24/7. As soon as they click through to the freebie to get this ebook or video or challenge, whatever it is, a checklist, a recipe guide, a detox, it's all free. And it's all automatically. The emails that go after that are all set up automatically by you. The invite to the webinars all set up automatically. You record the webinar, you upload the webinar. They watch that automatically wherever they are in the world at any time. All these follow-up emails are done automatically. this 4-step system works for you automatically. And so you're not out there the whole time pushing. What you do have to, it's a very simple process. It's not easy. There's a lot of little nuances here. For example, you got to get your ad working. Once your ad works, you got to get people to come to your landing page and sign up. And once at the landing page and sign up, you got to get people to pitch up to your webinar. Once on the webinar, you got to get them to sell. But that's at least what you're concentrating on, and making this better and better and better and better. So right in the beginning, I told you guys that you don't have a traffic problem, you have a conversion problem. The only thing that you're going to be working on here is making sure that these convert better and better and better. Because if you're spending $100 on ads, and at the end here of step 3, it's spitting out $150 in revenue, then you have a business. You have a business that you can scale up. Instead of spending $100, you spend $200, because that's now going to get you $300. And then it's a case of, okay, well, I don't want to spend $100. How can I make this ad even better so my costs come down? And how can I get better at presenting? And so my revenue increases, so that dollar of spent now comes up to $2 of revenue. That's the way that we run online businesses. So then it just becomes a case of numbers, because we converting at these certain ratios. So just to summarize that, step 1 is creating a Facebook ad targeted to your ideal client type. Step 2 is giving them a freebie in return for something of value, which is their name and email. We now have their email list. We then invite them to a webinar. Hey, Joel, don't flush, okay? And then we give some more education and present to them on the webinar. And then step 4 is the emails, follow up. We're still adding value, building relationships. And by the time they get here, guys, there's no selling. There's absolutely no selling, because we've given them so much value. We've shown them, if we've got an ebook, we've shown them like a recipe guide, or how to treat candida naturally. Then on the webinar, we've given them some more education. And then it's just a simple thing to say, right, guys, I've given you all this free information. If you want to take it to the next level and purchase these oils, or you want to join the business, then I'll show you how to do it. If not, that's cool. So it's not like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's a completely different approach. And this is what's called permission marketing, permission-based marketing, or value-added education-based marketing. Okay. And to be honest, sometimes I just do a 3-step process. And what that means is I don't even have an ebook. I'll just do a Facebook ad and run it straight to a webinar. So that just takes one thing out of there. And maybe this ad would be, how to start your own business part-time, or how to be a work. You can't use work from home with Facebook ads. They don't really like it, but, sort of that type of topic. Or you could do a webinar just on maybe like a 10-day challenge or something, or a 7-day challenge, and get people to purchase a small amount of oils or something, and you can do that effectively. You could do a webinar, maybe it's a seasonal. The ideas and possibilities are endless, right? I mean, around holidays, seasons, events, you could do certain things, whatever, great gifting ideas, and show them live, how to put a bottle of oils together, send them off to somebody, or, how to cook with essential oils. That's one thing I haven't seen anybody doing effectively online, is how to cook with essential oils. And I don't mean you have to then go, do this whole thing in the kitchen. You could basically have, hey, this is what I made. This is how I did it, right? These are the cookies that I make, and I put some cinnamon or lemon or citrus in there. I don't know, that I can feed to my kids, and it helps them with ABC type of thing, and that kind of thing. And this is what I mean. Once you have this automated system, then it just becomes a creative process. And the hardest thing, and Julie will probably be able to, attest to this, the hardest thing is just getting out of your own way to do this, because it's there. It's there for us. And, and then we run the ad, and the ad might not work. And then we say, okay, right, how can we do this ad better? And so it's a much cleaner and better process then having that pressure every day while you're working, while you're raising your family, to basically go out there and try to speak to people the whole time, because for like $5 a day, you start small. And once this works, then you can scale up, then you can start spending more money. And I'm telling you now is, so some of the leaders and top enrollers, they don't have this quite system. They have like a variation of it, and like bits and bobs type of thing. Haven't done it effectively. But I'm telling you now, is those people that are on top of the enrollment pile, they're spending money on Facebook ads, and some of them are spending up to $15,000 to $20,000 a month on Facebook ads. Right now, I'm not telling you that's what you have to do, but the reason why they can do it is because they've built a system, and they know that if they spend $15,000, they know that their check at the end of that month is going to be $50,000 or $60,000 from doTERRA, right? So that's what's keeping their business alive. It's not because they're on the phone or they have an incredible network. It's because they've mastered this and they've built their system. So that is what I wanted to show you. And so I'll open up to any questions, and I hope, does that make sense, or have I bored you guys to death?
That did make sense. Let me figure out how to unmute them.
Okay.
There we go. All right. So what questions do all of you have?